last team.
Don't listen to Russell. He don't know that. Like
last team.
Russell wasn't there. Like,
I was there. I watched Jordan jump man out of mom's vagina. All right.
Oh my god.
he used his hand and everything. His hand was the first thing that came out. He's like, get me out of this smelly
He
shit.
jumped out of the pussy. It's
Oh
amazing.
my god.
So, when we were breaking down Michael Jordan's apex season, we, for the most part, talked about teams that were exclusively championship teams in the 90s. We talked about one team and one Michael Jordan that was before the Phil Jackson winning rings era. But for the most part, we left that alone. And the reason I want to go back to it now is there's a big thing that goes on. You see it on TV all the time. It happens once a year. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. and fucking, well, not Max Kellerman anymore, but fucking these guys.
Max Kellerman on his new show.
Yeah, sure. Well, how much could Michael Jordan score in today's game? Every once in a while, you'll hear some old head on a podcast go, I think the latest one was Dennis Rodman, where it was like, oh, Jordan in today's era, are you kidding me? The defense we played on him then? If he was in today's era, he'd average 40, 50.
NBA.
What's the most he ever averaged? 37?
37-1.
All right, so 40 easy. 40 easy.
Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. He averaged 50 points. I don't know why you guys discuss the GOAT. Why you discuss the GOAT?
I agree. There's
Why?
it's not
debate for any
close
of us,
enough.
but-
It's not close
Right,
enough
right.
between Michael and anyone else to really have the conversation. Let's be honest.
We estimate that Michael Jordan would have averaged 45 points per game. Well, how does that sound to you, 45 a game for Michael in this era?
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. I don't think anybody would have stopped him. We have to remember that Michael Jordan averaged a career 1.73 pointers per game. Clearly, the game has changed where the advent of the three-point shot, I shouldn't say the advent of it because it existed, but the proliferation of its use combined with the fact that the game is called considerably softer than it was back in the day. The physicality that he had to endure en route to his ascension is not something that he would have to deal with today. So,
Every game, no matter what. And I think it would be fun to take a guy that they're thinking of that might be able to put up points in this era, just pluck him, because we usually take the full team. Let's pluck Michael Jordan and put him on a 2020 roster and try to project how many points maybe he would actually be able to put up. So the first thing we have to do is select a year, right? Since we talked about all the championship teams, I want to leave it exclusively to these high 30s scoring seasons where he's putting up over 1,000 field goals made in a year. And
so it's anything before 89, right?
Basically, yeah. Anything
89.
before Phil Jackson.
Yep. So for his first 5 seasons.
Yeah. What is he averaging collectively these first 5 years? Just a straight average of almost 33 a game, shooting 51%.
Yeah.
It's fucking bonkers. Which one do we like the most? How do we feel and why?
I like 87-88 Jordan.
Leading the league in steals and scoring. Why?
Mm-hmm. Well, because that's why I like it. Because even though he's only 2 points behind his highest scoring season, but his defense is, just a little bit better. So I'd like to put him in there.
His field goal percentage is a shit ton better. And this is the MVP year, right?
MVP and DPOY year, yep.
The only reason I'd rather the 37 is because we're strictly talking about scoring. If we were talking about who's the most complete player, and I feel like the reason he's more efficient and he can be is because his team's better. Like the 87 year versus the 88 year. Remember, 87, his team his team is not good at all. Like, and I think this is the season that they get the 4th seed or whatever, right?
This is 50 and 32.
They were 40 and 42 in 87. And then in 88, they were 50 and 32.
Yeah, exactly. So they were what, like an 8th seed, 7th seed in
Yeah, because that was the year leading into that year is when he dropped the 63 on the Celtics.
Yeah. Well, the playoffs. Yeah, the playoffs. Yeah, that was the injury and all this other stuff. We already did that in the legacy breakdown. So, but and if you guys want to go back and check that, you can. But I think if we're strictly talking about scoring, I think I would go with that year, and that year is also the pace is like ridiculous that year, right? Which would be closer to today's pace.
Yeah, that's fair. I got to get the two paces next to each other though. I don't think this whole.
I don't think it's that far off.
Yeah. I was about to say this whole 80s era is definitely, and that's the other thing.
Late 80s, yeah.
Basically after when Magic Johnson starts winning MVPs is when the pace starts going straight up until about when Jordan takes over. But I think it's important to bring a Jordan from this point, not just because of the scoring, but because the pace is completely comparable. Where as we get into the 90s and it's significantly slower, it obviously hampers his scoring, but it also is just like it won't be the same.
And I really don't think this like between 88. I think they're both comparable defensively and offensively. The 87 Jordan, 88 is just strictly 87. He probably had to do a little bit more to keep his team in versus, and it's not even that. It's not that much of a difference. Like even the steals and points, like it's a 2-point difference in points and like a 0.3 difference in steals. So it's very close. Like I'm not mad at either one.
Yeah, it's just the two things that stand out from the year with slightly less buckets are, just mainly the efficient. Actually, really, the main thing is the efficiency. But my main criteria, I just want a season where he hits 1,000 field goals. That matters to me. I want
the efficiency thing. I think because if we're gonna put him, most likely if we want to see what Jordan's highest scoring potential will be in the modern era, would be putting him in a bad team versus a good team.
Right.
So no matter what, his efficiency should look more like 87 rather than 88. And it's showing you exactly that in his between the 2 years. He had a team who was worse with a not as good record, so his efficiency went down. And then once he had a better team, his efficiency went up. And I wouldn't say that that Jordan changed. It was just his team that changed.
He's also making over 10 free throws a game. And that you were right. That pace in the first year, 37 points per game year, 86, 87, is slightly faster. It's 100.8 to 99.6, I think it said.
Yeah. And 100.8, 99.
So it's not that big of a difference. But
not even,
it does. I think I'm comfortable taking the 37 point per game Jordan. Because really, it's just as long as it was one of these 2 years, I'm happy.
Was that league wide pace or was that
Bulls league average? Those two that I just said were the league average.
What was the Bulls pace
specifically?
Yeah.
So first year, Bulls pace 95.8, dead last.
Okay.
Second year, same thing, dead last, 95.5.
Okay.
But we knew this. We know this. They, especially comparing them to the fucking Showtime Lakers of this time.
Yeah. No, I know, but I was
going to run the same thing, and it's always about because of the percentage of points that Jordan's scoring. It's always about how can we get it in his hands in the half court so that he can just like get to his spots, get his points, and keep the score. You know what I mean? Lower. Yeah. So I'm good with
either or is fine. It doesn't. To me, they're the same. They're the same person.
It is a coin flip. This is the year he won MVP.
Yeah, and Defensive Player of the Year. So this is arguably the best Jordan without Phil Jackson.
Ooh, you're selling me. You're changing it. I was so ready.
I just want us to keep in mind that this same Jordan to me is gonna do when he's on a worse team. He's not gonna have that same efficiency. That's all. I feel like we should.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I understand what you're saying,
and I think it's significant enough because it's what is it? He was shooting 53% versus 48. That's a 5% difference.
Yeah, it is. That's why I
feel like that matters. Like so that's the only reason I was thinking 37 would show it a little more. But I can see. I mean, literally it's the same player. So
they both led the league in field goals made and field goals attempted for that particular year, and he got to 3,000 points, right? That first year? Pretty sure he did.
Yeah. It shows right there. 3,300.
Yeah. I just scrolled.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the minutes. My bad.
Yeah. You're good. 3,041 as opposed to 2,868. So,
that's significant. In terms, if we're doing straight up scoring, I feel like it makes more sense to do 87 because, like,
the free throw
totality, that's significant. 100 and almost 200 more points.
Leading the league in free throws and free throws attempted also this year.
Yeah.
Which is when we bring him into now, I don't care what team he goes on. James Harden has taught me that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go the first year. Because we're just plucking them. And I like the raw scoring numbers that we're seeing from this particular guy.
And I really feel like no matter, like we can, obviously we can mess around and put him on a bad team, put him on a good team. And then I feel like you're just flip-flopping which Jordan, 88 or 87. Like 88
That's
would
fair.
be what he would look like on a good team. 87 would look like what he would look like on a bad team. Like closer, at least.
I feel you. No, I feel and we're going to do it right now. So when we're looking at the 2021 NBA season, the season that just finished, Milwaukee Bucks were the champs. Do we want to start with a shitty team? Do we want to start with a good team? Or do we want to put them roll the dice, put it somewhere in the middle?
Before we start, I would like to let our viewers know. So this is fall, right? And the season of apple cider. So I'm representing the Apple Cider Club.
I can't wait for us
to do a hashtag apple cider in the comment section if y'all fuck with that.
No, apple cider is definitely the superior fall drink. I agree.
Thank you. All right, I thought
as opposed to what? What is the other one?
All that pumpkin bullshit.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
we got
apple over pumpkin.
Apple, now we apple. Now we okay. I'm trying to think.
We're keeping him in the East, or does it not matter?
No, this is open to interpretation. We've literally just plucked Michael Jordan and thrown him into the time machine.
Yep. I want to go bad team first.
Okay. So how bad, what's the percentage winning we want to keep them under? Under 30%? One of those teams?
No, I mean,
3?
So this is what I'm thinking.
Listen.
I'm thinking Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And this is my reasoning. I feel like it's a team that can go fast. Right? What was the
101?
Yeah, 101. And because Chris Paul's pace, I was thinking about just the year before they were a playoff team. Chris Paul dipped out. Let's say they drafted a Michael Jordan after Chris Paul's.
No one played more than fucking 65 games on this whole roster. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I know the season was like slightly different, but it just feels like nobody played a full year here. It's crazy.
Well, the season that just passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we gotta ignore that. So I feel like they could go fast pace.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a team that he can possibly bring to the playoffs if necessary. So it kind of brings him, because what I need is MJ's mindset. If he knows that he has a possibility of bringing them to the playoffs,
all right,
he can go even harder. Like because you need him to feel like obviously he's gonna do it, try his hardest anyways. But like the reason he put up 37 points is because he needed to in order to make that 40-win team get to the playoffs somehow. So I want to do the same. I want to do a similar thing for this Oklahoma City team, where they're bad, but they're good enough to possibly make the playoffs because they just made it last year.
Yeah, they just.
So it was a different team. Sorry.
I get what you're saying. So the first team I thought of when I thought of a shitty team was Minnesota. And it's funny that you brought up Oklahoma City because the one thing that I was thinking about, because I have no life, I play a lot of 2K. And when I play 2K, I created a lot of different types of people. And one of the guys I created was a guy that replicated 80's Jordan. I swear I have a perfect point to bring this up. I'm not just bringing this up for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
I got him to score over 1,000 field goals. I got him to do all that retro 80s shit. But I found that if I put him on a team with a center that was in the way or not able to shoot, that it totally fucked with his scoring. He went from 35 points a game to like 27. And his efficiency went way down. Because when he was with a shooting big, the floor just like spaced out. And with no center there, it was just a super high way to the basket, which this Michael Jordan would need a lot. And I look at, Anthony Edwards, who was in his rookie season for this team, right?
Yep.
I think of that. He was obviously shooting a lot more threes than Jordan would be shooting. But I think about his crashing the paint, all the highlight dunks he had in his rookie year, specifically the one where it looked like his head was over the square. It's fucking crazy. Dunked on him on the baseline. I feel like Jordan would just be that on steroids.
So this is my only thing about, and I know this is getting really like in depth.
But see, this is how it changes.
Yeah, this is just fun stuff to think about. One, Karl Anthony Towns is somewhat of a star.
Okay.
Like, how are we making it seem like everyone knows who Michael Jordan is at this point? Because like he's not the GOAT in his eyes. Like
sure.
He's not like, for Jordan to score average whatever the hell he's gonna average, like that takes away from Karl Anthony Towns. I don't know how that works. And also we already know Karl Anthony Towns cannot deal with that mindset.
I was waiting for that.
So look at this for OKC, and not to make an argument, but
no,
OKC they already had the militant-minded person the year before Chris Paul, right? Like you got guys like my guy future Kawhi Leonard who dealt with a Chris Paul.
Oh, chunky butt.
Yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, whatever. Yeah. Played with Chris Paul. Like, so you got guys who already know how that mindset works, and like. So I feel like it would kind of go with his flow a little bit more.
It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, really? I thought it was Shai.
I'm pretty sure it's Shai.
I'm not keeping score.
So you want to hear what I thought of that was like would have been stupid? They're not a terrible team, but would have been interesting to watch. Because of injuries, if you put Michael Jordan on this Golden State Warriors team this year.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, you're moving them up, though. You're moving them up.
No, I know. But I was just thinking it'd be fucking hilarious to see that.
Well, that would be because him and Steph. And we know Steph will let him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of teams in this 8 to 10 seed that I think Jordan would fit on.
Fuck that. We gotta do 3. We gotta do a good team.
Yeah.
A middle team. Because that Golden State team would be fire. Like,
and I also there's the Washington team on the other side. I have a case for, so I'm interested. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But let's go bad teams, right?
Lindsay, can you pick a bad team, or are you good with the ones we picked?
I'm good with the ones you picked.
All right. So what do you think between the Thunder and the T-Wolves?
Let's go Thunder.
I'm cool with the Thunder, mainly for that last point you made about Jordan terrorizing Karl Anthony Towns. That's totally bad for my... Because if he just goes in and Jimmy Butler's it, that's a problem.
Lightning and the thunder.
Oh man, I have no idea what song that is, but I'm gonna find it.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna find what that
You
is.
know the
Leave
song.
that on the screen.
Yeah, leave this part in when you say I don't know, so then the fans could terrorize you.
That's okay. I'm with that. Okay. But who the fuck was starting for this team? Because, as I said before, there were a lot of injuries. There were 10 people that started for this team throughout the year.
Yeah, part of this hypothetical wasn't actually knowing about the team, right? Because
I just trying to figure out where I'm going to put him. Because he could play two guard or small forward, especially in this era. It's not outsized to play small forward. I think it'll work out.
He's going two guard for sure.
But I think
you got Doherty doing that.
Yeah, chunky butt. Is he playing small forward or is he playing two guard?
Oh, small forward and two guard up top.
So he was small forward his rookie year and two guard last year. So he'll play either or. We could put him at each point. How tall is he? 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah, I think he's 6'7". Oh, 6'3". No way.
3. So Jordan is playing small forward.
Wait. No way he's 6'3". He was guard. He was literally locking up James Harden. Like doing it. Nah, he's small forward, bro. You gotta.
It's because he has a chunky butt. He can stay in front of whoever because his butt just is
he didn't look that
unstoppable.
much taller than James Harden. I know James Harden's 6'5", but still, like, even when he's on LeBron and stuff, he doesn't look that much smaller.
Dort is the fucking man. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's playing point guard or shooting guard, is 6'6". So you think they would have,
Yo, I'm sorry. I love Basketball Reference, but they have to be wrong somehow with this.
Hey, you know what I used to feel that way about? Allen Iverson's Basketball Reference page, where sometimes he's point guard, sometimes he's two guard, and it gets people telling me that Allen Iverson played point guard all his career, and it makes me angry because that guy was a two, and they forced him to play two because of how much he fucking shot the ball, because that was the era we were in.
Yeah,
makes me so mad.
But I think because Snow was definitely the PG.
Yeah. But Shea would be point, I think, in this scenario with Jordan. How many points does he put up? How many points can Jordan get to in this situation?
So this is just to confirm for the fans who are listening to this crazy hypothetical that is. And usually you don't go to shows and hear, how much points is he going to put up? And we put this in-depth analysis. So appreciate us for that and hit the
what it's about.
Yeah. So we're assuming Jordan is growing up in this era.
Sure.
Right? Being able to shoot, AAU baby, all this other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let's
keep his mentality.
I personally will be keeping his game to the point where he's not going to be the 3-ball guy, but he is going to make 1,000 field goals, and he might get to almost 1,000 free throws, maybe.
So how many threes are you thinking he's going to take a game?
Let's see. I don't think he's going to take 66. I think like this 100. These numbers that are not. I don't think he's taking more than 200 because I just don't think that's going to be his game. Especially if I still think he's going to make 1,000 field goals.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say because it has to.
How
many threes?
I don't think he's going to shoot a good percentage. So I have him as James Harden without the step back.
Yeah, can you do me a favor? Could you go? And I know it's unnecessary, but not. I mean, it's kind of necessary.
We'll find out.
Huh?
We'll find out how necessary it is.
In 2013, how many? Because that's the closest I could go to Kobe's best year. How many threes did he take that year?
In 2012.
2013.
Okay.
Because that was his last good year.
The year where he had where Dwight on his team.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you.
I feel like he would have needed to shoot more threes too. Let's go. Wait, actually,
look at total threes.
No, yeah, go back up.
Okay.
I just to save us some time. Wait, no, not all the way. I just want to see how many threes did he take. He was taking 7.
He was taking 2.7, 5.2 in 2012, 2013, the last good one.
Oh, okay, 5. All right, 23. Okay, perfect. So let's go to that.
Okay.
And see how many threes he made.
I got it.
On the total, yeah.
I got it. Made
132.
Got 132, is that right? Yeah. He shot 400, made 132.
He didn't shoot the percentage. He shot 32%, which is, I think, what Jordan's career average is, right? But this is not the same Jordan, so I can't.
327 career average. It's still okay though, because I'm cool with taking his game and bringing. Because like, if you want to say, I don't think he's going to shoot a high percentage from three either. I wasn't even factoring that in. I'm factoring in the James Harden level of craftiness at the basket, right? With like, he would definitely lean into getting extra free throws for sure. And however that that mentality is going to fucking be there. I think he'll play closer to like a Giannis.
Westbrook. Oh, I was thinking Westbrook. Yeah.
Westbrook too. I think that like that type of game. Let's go to Westbrook.
Yeah,
Westbrook's a chuck though. Westbrook chucks too many threes.
No, but let's see more or less what, because I think his 3-point shooting at this point is probably, because Jordan was shooting like less than 20%.
Yeah,
in his career when he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. I'm looking at Kobe's 05-06 year where he averaged the 35 a game. And this 180 for 500 at 34%. I don't think he'll make 180. I think he might make maybe this. Maybe this looks a little better. I'm not sure. But like,
and Kobe made 978 field goals.
That's kind of where I'm getting at. Is like, if he made the 970, is it impossible to say that maybe he would get to maybe higher than 200 shooting and still be all right?
Let's do that. I like that. I like that 07 Kobe. Just the takes, the amount of amount of 3 points taken. Because there's no way in hell Jordan's gonna play in a league where Steph Curry is probably shooting 1,000 threes.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be taking 100. Like, there's no way. The 3-point line forces it, like it's forced on you right now.
For
like
shits and giggles, I want to see what how many threes Giannis took, because he's like starting to stretch it this season.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I wonder how many, because I think he'll be the same level of accurate, especially with those big fucking hands. So he
took 200.
2021. He took 200. It was 61 games, mind you.
30, yeah.
But 72. He's taken about 2. This is exactly kind of where I.
But that's 60 games. What is that?
Getting closer to 80 games, still taking like 200. But this is going back a little too far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then he wasn't shooting them at all. But what do you think, Lynn?
So what is he closer to, like, after those 60 games? Is he closer to, like, what, 280?
Yeah, I think let's go. No, it's 300. I would go 300 for Jordan.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. So do you think so then here's my first question. Do you think he makes 1,000 field goals with the Thunder? Going back to that. Think he can get to that?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in his way.
Yeah, I don't think that's why, because I feel like he wouldn't be able to do that if he would have went to Minnesota, because I think Anthony Towns has to get his shots.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so I think I don't think Jordan's, like, I know people look at him, especially that early Jordan, as a ball hog, but I feel like it was more so because he needed to.
Yeah, which helps in this case, because he'll definitely fucking need to.
Yeah, like I know it was hard, like even later on in the 90s when he had to, like when it was kind of forced on him to, like, the triangle and all this other stuff, like once he saw that it allowed him to win, he completely embraced it. And I feel like he would do that even now. Like, I feel like if you can show him that you can win that way, he'll do it. Yeah. So, in this case, there won't be much winning involved. So, he's going to feel like he's the way to win. And he doesn't have any offensive threat to make him feel otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. The one thing that, that's true. I agree that once he realized that the triangle would help him, but he was also obsessed with winning the scoring title in the triangle because he's an asshole. He was like, scoring champion can win a fucking championship. Fuck you, America. He was very much on that. So I do agree, but he was still, it was in there. But
wait, time out. Did it? And this is off topic a little, but
that's okay.
Did Kareem not win scoring champion?
How many did he get? I don't think he got that definitely not as many as Jordan.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like Will, I know he has the second most, but when Wilt won, was he not scoring champion? The 2 years
For Kareem, you're saying?
No, Will.
He was never scoring champ. Well, I mean, he played with Wilt.
So Kareem was scoring twice in 71.
Okay, twice.
And 72.
And he won the chip in 71.
Yes.
Okay, so
he would be the last person to do it, I guess, until Jordan came. Yeah. And then Wilt. Because Wilt never won doing this shit. Like maybe 1 year, the 68 year, 67.
Yeah.
Really got to go back and finish this motherfucker's legacy. We got 1 year of it up, and it's just him in high school. We got to go back and do it. Fucking.
I was just curious because I didn't understand why he was so big on that. I was like, did no one do that at that point?
I think it was much. I think it was just a huge media narrative at the time because people were just on him about, you're scoring all those buckets. You got to be a team guy to win a championship. That type of shit. It was just constantly in his ear.
Yeah, and it was also like even with Kareem doing it at that point, it was like the exception and not the rule.
Yeah, true. And you know what it probably reminds me of? It's like LeBron, right? When he throughout his career, it was like he had to get more clutch. He was constantly chasing getting more clutch, right?
Yeah.
Well, finally, I think that's the thing for him that's constantly in his ear. It's just like when he hits those, and that's where this fucking thing came from.
Yeah.
That whole persona.
Yeah.
Where for Jordan, it was like he had to get these scoring titles here, even if he was scoring a little less. It mattered him to get the scoring titles and then to go through and win.
This is why the media is some bullshit. Like unnecessary. Like no matter who you were, like they literally just went opposite with Jordan and then opposite with LeBron. Like, oh, you got to be more selfish. You got to take
exactly.
those shots. And then with Jordan is like, you got to be unselfish, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally get what you're saying. The only time that I feel that the internet has correctly, especially the internet specifically in the internet era, has changed someone's career for the better. It's James Harden going from a F defensive player to a B- defensive player.
Yeah,
is solely because he was trolled on YouTube for years.
Yeah.
He was like the king of Shaq and the Fool for a while because of his defense.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
If only JaVale McGee had the same mentality.
Yeah.
But how many points for Jordan on the Thunder? Then we'll move on to a different team.
Because we're adding the 3-point shooting, I think his free throws, he's still gonna get his 10 a game.
Yeah.
If he's making a 3 or 2, I'm gonna give him about maybe like 43, 44. I'm not even mad at 45 points.
Wow.
If he's going completely hard and he has to, I think, because you gotta think about it. If you're getting to 1,000 field goals,
yeah,
right, and let's say 100 of those field goals, like just automatically, 1,000 field goals,
yeah,
getting you 2,000 points, right?
Yeah,
that's 1,000. If he's just going,
it's just do nothing. If you do nothing else,
yep,
yeah.
And we're saying he's taking 300 shots, making 100 of them because we're gonna give him about 33%, right?
Right.
So that's giving you another 100. That's the 2,100, and then you got 10. You got
the 10 free throws.
The 10 free throws. You probably getting around 3,000 points, which is
right at that 37 a game where he was at.
Well, actually, I think like it's close to 37. Where am I? I feel like I'm missing something because
I have 20. It at.
He didn't hit the 1,000 free throw. He didn't hit the 1,000. Wait, how the hell am I? How's my math?
Almost 900 free throws.
Yeah, my math is
almost 850 in the. Because he's almost shot 1,000.
He's gonna have that. I'm saying he's gonna have that.
Yeah, I think he gets more.
I'm saying 1,000. So he had about 1,100.
Yeah,
field goals made.
Yeah.
Where my difference. I'm like, how is this so close? The number shouldn't be nowhere near close because he's making significantly. He made 12 threes. I'm saying he's gonna make 90 more. So it shouldn't even be close. So Yeah, I feel comfortable with the 40-43 because he's going to be making the extra threes. Yeah.
I just think the whistles are going to be out for him. Like, I think they are going to call him.
Yeah.
Like, bad. I think
he's going to make more than 10 threes a game. I mean, 10 free throws a game.
Where's Harden at? How many free throws does Harden get in this world?
Yeah, James. Yeah.
Because I want to know.
Because I think it's about 10.
The Rockets year where he had 36 a game, right?
Yeah, it's 10.
He made 10, right? Was taking 11. The year after, 34.3, he was making over 10 and almost took 12. That's the world I see him in. Because that's we went through the whole era, especially through the Jordan lens. The calls were just not made then like they're made now. They were different calls, especially towards the end of Jordan's career. In the 90s, they would get weird calls on turnaround jump shots. Don't get called now. This move that's been outlawed is different. But under the basket, they could do way more in the 80s. So I think he's going to get fouled way more in this era for that reason. And that's what puts me around 40. I think he'll be right at 40 a game.
Because of the free throws?
Because I think the free throws make the biggest difference over the threes. For me.
So how many more free throws do you see him getting?
So let's go to these totals for Harden. Stay here. So, because all these goddamn games are mixed up. So Harden's not making nearly as much as Jordan, even in the what do you call it? In the current era.
Yeah.
So I could see
he wasn't playing the 82 games really.
Yeah, but assuming 82, right? I think he gets to at least 850 to 900 made. Definitely over 1,000 taken. But I think he gets to probably 900 made. My opinion.
You think he's going to take over 1,000?
Yeah, because I never had him shooting that many threes in my head until you said all that stuff about shooting threes. Because I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that won't happen. But in my scenario, I have him as this slashing force that, and that has a decent mid-range game to combat that. You're basically wet dream Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So
it's essentially what I have in my head.
So look, if you have him taking 1,000, that's about 12 free throws attempted a game, which is okay. It's not that much different than James Harden.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Then, I just disagree with the 900 because he wouldn't be Jordan. That would mean he's shooting 90% from the free throw line, and he's never done that his entire career.
Okay, so what would be at 85? Because that's about
850.
850? Oh, duh. Fucking math was over here. So fucking 850 is fine. Even then, that's what takes me from the 43 that you were saying to the 40 where I'm at.
Okay.
I don't think he'd get a point under.
So how many more more or less? So he made 108, almost 190. I mean 1,090 field goals in 87.
Yeah, 86, 87. Yeah.
So how many field goals are we assuming for him to make? 1,050?
I think I'm good with that. At least
because he's got.
But this is the thing. This is in a pace of 95. If we're putting him on the Thunder, their pace is 101. So he's going to take more shots.
Yeah.
Which means maybe he could get over 1,100. For shits and giggles, the 2K guy I made up got to 1,400. But I'm not saying that. That's fucking video game shit. That's bonkers. He didn't make nearly as many free throws. But 1,400 broke my brain. But I think he could maybe do 11.
Let's say 1,100, right? Yeah. All right, so I'm just doing basic math real quick. Right?
Better you than me.
Yeah, so we got the 1,100 times 2. That's 2,200, right? Plus the 850.
Yeah.
That's 3,050.
Yeah.
Right? and then we're saying he's going to make 100 threes, which isn't crazy. Like 100 threes is like, so, and that just, because, and just for you guys who are going to be checking my math if you want to.
That would be 3150, right?
Yeah, 3150.
Calculators at home.
Just adding the extra points because we already counted it towards the field goal. So,
yeah.
Just for you people who want to, whatever. So, just in case, because I know some people just be like,
try and play with my emotions.
How the hell did you come up with those numbers? And that would get Jordan 38.41 points a game.
Okay.
So
that's not horrible. It's not horrible.
And I think so he wouldn't be getting the 40 or the 43. And I think that because, and we got to just think of Jordan for who he is.
Yeah.
He's a defensive guy too.
Yeah.
So I know this is all about the offense, but he's gonna play hard on defense. He's not. He's just not that guy that's gonna stop. He never, even in his when he was getting older in his prime, he still wanted to be a defensive stop, like a guy that you can rely on defense.
For sure.
So, literally, his last thing as a Chicago Bull was arguably one of the greatest defensive plays of all time.
Yeah.
Right. So I think because of that, it makes more sense for if we wanted him to just be put a plug in his ass and say we're gonna play as you. Sure, he probably could not play defense and just do all this offense and then score 50. Yeah. But I think because of the stats and the way we literally broke down the numbers too.
Yeah.
I think he'd be more towards 38, 39, which is still insane.
Yeah, which is would still be the best ever since him. You know what I mean? Nobody's gotten to that point. Nobody's gotten over that 37 a game that he did in this period of time. I don't disagree with that either. The case against what you said would be he was getting 3,000 points and fucking doing steals and blocks anyways. That would be but that's not even the case against it as much as it is just saying, fuck you, he would do it all. But I get what you're saying 100%. Let's move him, now that we have some of that math under our belt and some of that knowledge, let's move him up to the middle of the pack here. Lindsay, you were talking about Golden State Warriors. I want to hear that case now. And how that works.
Well,
sorry, my bad. I just want to add before Lindsay even says a word. I agree with her.
See? Thank you, Dario. No, it's just because, there's an obvious hole in this team because there's no Klay Thompson, right? And, technically you have Wiggins and Kelly Oubre, but, really? So I feel like they would be a great duo, Curry and Jordan. They would be a ridiculously way too much scoring duo, and it would just be so fun to watch.
I think they work within a realm where Curry could still get this and Jordan could still average maybe 35 or more, maybe. Mm-hmm. Because I think they needed it in this period of time. They might get more wins if that happens, obviously, but I think that they needed more scoring in this last year, for sure.
Oh, and you also just don't really have a big on this team. They play more small basketball.
Oh yeah.
And the reason we know that it could work out is because we've seen it already in a different way. But we saw Curry have to deal with sharing the ball with two guys scoring over 20 points a game.
Yeah.
So you can definitely give Jordan Curry doesn't need he really doesn't need 22 shots to get his points. I think Curry even does it more efficiently if MJ is there.
Not getting doubled.
Yeah, literally, if there's not a person doubling Michael Jordan, there's not going to be, it's going to be the same issue they had with the Warriors before. It literally just makes this team.
It will be GG.
Yeah, it makes this team an 8th seed to a complete contender.
Yeah, I agree. And it would be interesting. Imagine if Klay Thompson wasn't the greatest shooter of all time, but just was Jordan in terms of slashing. What if he couldn't shoot at all, but was a slasher? That's essentially what we'd be doing here. We'd slide him right into that Wiggins or Oubre spot, and I think Curry probably takes more threes and maybe gets to 6 threes a game because of how much driving Jordan's going to do, which forces that. And if they don't collapse on Jordan, that's a dunk. If they do collapse on Jordan, that's a layup for Curry at the 3-point line.
Yeah.
And I think they could both live on this team and score over 30 points a game and still win and have it make sense.
It's what I thought that the Warriors would be if they got Giannis, but better. Because I think that would be like, for whatever reason, I think there was talks about Giannis going to the Warriors at some point.
Yeah, people were making
we're speculating, obviously, but and I just thought that it would work perfectly because it opens the lane for Giannis. So we do the same thing for Jordan. But the only thing is now you have a guy who, when you have to hit that big shot, he's gonna hit it.
You got two guys. Dos.
Well, it's really the one. Like, Steph has not been
hitting clutch shots, not in the playoffs, but in the regular season.
Yeah,
sure.
But I mean, that was why they wanted KD, because they needed that guy for when everything broke down. They were going to get to a bucket.
Yeah.
And so MJ would definitely be that.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, Curry is capable of hitting game winners. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think it would be awesome for the Warriors. I'd like that.
I don't have a problem with this, but I just want to make my case for the Wizards because I thought about it earlier today, and I was like, on paper, you think it's a crowded backcourt, right? You go Westbrook, Beal, two guys who want the ball a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beal is only 6'3". Westbrook, obviously, the same height.
Not go. Sorry.
And they're both, Westbrook and Beal, both obviously not as big as Jordan at 6'6". So I could see Jordan playing the small forward here, mainly because no one else is fucking going to do it. I'm not intimidated by anybody on this list. Davis Bertans can get the fuck out of the way. Like, Rui Hachimura, I don't care about him. I'd rather have Michael Jeffrey Jordan. My thing with this is, unlike the Curry situation, and why I like your guys' idea to play Curry better, or to play Jordan on the Warriors, rather,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if Jordan could get over 30 points a game in this environment. I think Westbrook would love to feed him lobs and stuff, and I think Westbrook would still coast at this 22, 11, and 11, maybe even more assists. Maybe finally gets over that 12 mark, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if having Beal, because Beal's he's a good shooter. He's not a Curry level of shooter where he forces defenders to stay on him tight at the line like that. And I don't know I think that might just throw a monkey wrench into the whole thing, especially as hearing you guys go through the Warriors thing.
Wait, here's my thought on the Wizards. Can someone knight Thomas Bryant? Because then his name would sound really old English, because he would be Sir Thomas Bryant.
I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you, and you're random.
I knew it was not going to be basketball related. No way.
It was like, I was ready for some gibberish. You knew it, and I knew it.
The only thing, like, I could see it. I just the only thing I feel like Westbrook would not just be willing to let Michael Jordan be Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Like, and I know that sounds like weird or whatever, but because he just finished coming off of a season playing with James Harden.
Yeah,
it was arguably the greatest scorer of the last 10 years.
Sure.
And I think the difference is him and Harden are like besties.
Yeah.
Like, that matters a lot. Like, a lot of people, like, he literally is the reason Kevin Durant left, or one of the reasons, right? And it was because he was the main decision maker, and KD felt like he couldn't win a championship with him.
Right.
I feel like that would be the same issue with Jordan, except it's going to be more of an issue because Jordan's going to say, "Pass me the fucking ball." He's not going to be like Kevin Durant. He's going to be like.
Has Westbrook ever played with a guy?
No.
He's going to now in the Lakers because LeBron is going to, and Anthony Davis for that matter.
But I think LeBron is too passive aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I mean, obviously, I've never played with LeBron James, so I wouldn't know how he is in the locker room and how he talks. But I feel like he's more of the I want to be a friend kind of guy, and then we try to like look at even like for instance Isaiah Thomas. He was playing with LeBron. LeBron, I swear to God, he probably never said more than 15 words to Isaiah Thomas. And got him traded. Like
that was OD passive.
Yes, so that's what I'm
video
saying.
of LeBron celebrating and walking right by that motherfucker.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see him as being the guy to put him in his place. Like,
and Jordan, on the other hand, would have no problems.
Yeah, exactly. That would be his. He'll be like, "Listen, motherfucker, this is my shit now."
Would they fight Shaq and Kobe style?
Huh?
Would they fight Shaq and Kobe style?
I got Westbrook. Westbrook fucking up Jordan. Fuck out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Jordan's got the reach advantage, though.
So look.
And Palm.
Straight up from Compton.
Okay.
Like, so he about that. He about that a little more than Jordan. I feel like Jordan just be doing this mind manipulation shit.
Listen, on his birth certificate, it says Jordan's from Brooklyn. All right.
For like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but he grew up in North Carolina.
For a sip of coffee, he was from Brooklyn.
I think he might be born in Brooklyn.
He
lived in North Carolina.
Yeah, he grew up though.
Was for sure born in
but I think he was born in Brooklyn.
On the birth certificate, it says born in Brooklyn. Last team.
Don't listen to Russell. He don't know that. Like,
last team.
Russell wasn't there. Like,
I was there. I watched Jordan jump man out of mom's vagina. All right.
Oh my God.
He used his hand and everything. His hand was the first thing that came out. He's like, "Get me out of this smelly
he
shit."
Jumped out of the pussy. It's
oh
amazing.
my God.
There will not be any. There will not be any visuals of this on your screen. The miracle of life. Jordan there will not be there.
I know this won't get marked because they don't know what this is. Or at least YouTube won't. My first time ever hearing what a blue waffle was.
Please don't bring that up.
That shit scared me. All right, let's keep on.
Yeah, let's not go down that horrible rabbit hole, please.
Watch Future Russell take this out, and this is gonna get me. Future Russell, as you being like, "Nah, we can't have this." I'm just letting you know, I don't like that. You should keep this in. It's fine. You can take out waffles
blue waffles to red Miamis. This is the last team that I wanted to talk about in this. Now it can't be taken out because I transitioned right from.
You're so corny.
That's why I did the whole. I'm not happy. I was like, I know he's not because he did something good there. He's not taking that shit up.
Miami is like it fits Jordan like a glove, not the glove, but a glove, and not like the glove, like a nice, just a smooth leather. It's just
like
beautiful.
The glove put a finger up his ass in '96. Yeah. You remember that, right?
I guess. Fucking Urban Meyer him.
Yes!
Prostate Joe bitch.
I was just going to say Urban Meyer.
Yo, Urban Meyer was wilding for respect for that. But all right, let's keep on. Just so y'all know, because this is 2021.
Yeah.
Urban Myers just got caught for putting a finger up a young girl's ass who could have been his daughter. Like,
yeah, no, it looked like he was trying to shove his whole hand up there. Let's be real.
Yeah, he was wilding for respect. But just so you know, like context when this happened, and then y'all can research it, and it's awesome. It's like great things for like future people in 2025.
But Jimmy Butler, Michael Jordan would be a relationship made in heaven.
Facts.
And Pat Riley would finally be able to have Jordan on his team instead of competing against him for hotel rooms and playoff games and all that shit. And finally have him on his team. And he's surrounded by the white shooters and Hero and Robinson and Goran Dragic. Technically, he's the color white.
Yeah, to remind them about the good old days, too. Like,
what?
He always had the white shooters.
So. Yeah. So, yeah, true. With Paxson and Kerr.
I think that's what created that stereotype, to be honest. Like, think about it. Like, the white shooter thing. Okay. It was always like, they always thought like only black people could attack the basket and all athletic shit. and then they felt like the white people could only shoot, and it's because like you always saw Jordan attacking the basket, and you always saw him passing to Paxton and Skur and look and Kukoc, and come on,
future Russell.
Like,
I apologize. Oh my God, but you guys have to stop saying white shooters. I can't.
All right, well, leaving the white shooters, going to the Bam Adebayo, I think is a perfect center for Jordan. It's infinitely better than any center he's ever played with in his life. And I think this team that loves defense, and it's a deep team. They got a lot of guys who can play. Is Iguodala on this team? Yeah, Iguodala's on this team. Jordan will like him. Like, I think Jordan could do damage. Say that again?
Is Bam really a center?
Yeah.
I always thought he was like a power forward.
Everyone thinks that because he's small. I think he's only 6'10". He's 6'9".
6'9", yeah.
He's center. He's a slash. He's a slash power forward.
He's not 250. That's not true. I know that for a fact.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he probably says it.
Unless LeBron James is 270, there's no way that
Kevin Durant is also 6'9", but him and Giannis, when they stand on the court, seem to be the same height. So It is what it is.
Kevin Durant looks like he's 6'9" because he walks around like a sloth.
No way. He looks like he's 7 foot.
Yeah, he looks humongous. I'm going to have a picture of him and Giannis.
I've seen him in real life, and he's huge.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, the way that he, like, moves, he's, like, always kind of, like, he's, like, hunched over like a sloth.
Yeah, he looks like a 7 foot Samuel L. Jackson. Not even joking. He look like Samuel L. Jackson with mad skills.
Main reason I think Jordan would be good on this fucking Heat team is because I think he would fucking be able to get over 30. All right, let's go.
I can't breathe.
Yeah. No. Wait. With the Heat, to add to that Heat thing, I think it works out actually perfectly because the militant-minded mindset that the Heat
coaching.
Yeah, the Heat coach already has. You got Jimmy Butler, who's the main leader of that Heat team anyways, who would openly embrace Jordan being the main scorer. Because Jimmy, like, we talked about it during the actual, like, the playoffs. Like, he didn't want to be the main scorer. He was obviously
begging for other people to take over.
Yeah, because he wanted to be the guy that helps his teammates score and see them do better. Like, he was saying that throughout the whole playoffs. Yeah. But he always embraced taking that last shot. I feel like he'd still embrace it with Jordan. But he wouldn't. Not that he'd allow Jordan to do it, but I feel like he'd be more willing to give those shots up to Jordan. And it's not like he wouldn't be getting shot. Like, there were times that Scotty took the last shot. Like, we saw it. I mean, it didn't turn out well for Scotty, but it'll turn out well for Jimmy. We know that. So I think it just works out perfectly. You got two guys who can hit big shots. You also got, like, key veterans in this team, like Andre Iguodala. He didn't play that many minutes, but he can still help out on, like, with Jimmy and Jordan being complete assholes. Andre could help out on that side. And I feel like this team is the more successful team. Yeah, compared to the Warriors. Yeah, I feel like Jordan's gonna have to do significantly more. Like, I feel like this is a perfect like, if we really had to take a Michael Jordan and put him into this to a team now and make him successful, this is the team we'd pick. Like, not saying it's gonna be a super team, but giving him, like, the actual chance to face all these super teams. Which this year is much more parity in the league, but I think this will be the perfect team for sure.
And I've never made this statement before, but I'm gonna make it now. I think Jimmy Butler will be the closest thing to Scottie Pippen that we have in the league. People say Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard's more, I want to take over. Jimmy, like you said, is the more selfless player that provides all the same skills.
Kawhi in 2015?
Yeah, Spurs Kawhi. Like early Spurs Kawhi. That would be a Scottie. I feel like Kawhi, once he hit 2017 where he got that superstardom and he was averaging the 25, 5, and 5. Yeah. I think 5 and 4, whatever. But he got to that point. I think from that point on he might have been okay with Jordan though. Like, but at that point he
he clearly didn't want to team up with a guy of his stature.
Yeah.
Because the very next year after he goes to, and I know this is going really, but once he went to Toronto, left, he had a chance for going with LeBron, but he said no against him.
Yeah.
He knew Paul George is a bitch, so he don't really he ain't really.
I can alpha the shit out of this little boy.
This is my Scotty over here.
Yeah. Oh, what a mistake! Should have taken Jimmy. What a fool! What a fool! Had an opportunity to do it too, didn't take it.
And it's crazy because Jimmy's still 31. Sometimes I feel like Jimmy's older, but it's because he played so many minutes with that bold.
He played so many minutes that he just aged.
Yeah, like seriously, because he does not seem like.
But I although my heart of hearts says exactly what you feel about the Heat and this being the perfect team for Jordan, I think the Warriors is most interesting to answer our question for this tier.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, how many points Jordan putting up with the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry? I don't know.
35.
Wow. So you think he's gonna drop from where he was at? Why? Talk to me.
Because I mean, you have Steph Curry there, so he'll feel less likely to take threes. He'll be driving more, and there won't be necessarily the need to be scoring constantly.
I got a question.
I actually was going lower. I think he'd be averaging about the 32.
Okay.
And Steph would be closer to like, depending on how many threes Steph's making, I'm thinking Steph might be at around 28 to 30 range. I think Jordan's going to be right at that sweet 32, similar to Steph.
Yeah.
Probably because Steph's on his team, it takes away some of his shots. And I think he's smart enough to know that he should be giving up some of his shots to a guy like Steph.
Right.
So I think instead of him giving you 24, 25 shots a game, he might be giving you more like 20.
Yeah.
Which would also make him more efficient. So I'm thinking he's going to score this 32, but off like 53, 54% shooting from the field. He's still going to probably get his 10 free throws a game because he's still going to be attacking. That basket's going to be wide open for him. The lane is going to be wide open for him with Steph spreading the floor.
Yeah.
And I feel like 32-ish range. Yeah, look more like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I pulled back up Jordan's career log because I know as soon as you said that I was like, he's got one of those. I know it for sure.
Yeah. but look at it's really more like his 91 season. Like,
okay,
if you look at that, you see the efficiency goes up.
Yeah. Or even actually
32 range, huh?
I feel like it's even 93 is probably the most accurate, especially when we can throw the threes in there.
Yeah, but yeah, probably. The only thing is with 93, he probably had to do a little bit more. I just feel like 91, he was so that offense.
Oh, yeah. I get what I was looking at it from a raw, no context, straight stats type deal.
Oh yeah. So I feel like he's going to be extremely efficient with Steph because all he has to do is focus on the mid range, and he's going to take up all of the spots Steph is lacking in, or not as great in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I could totally see him shooting over the 50%. My question for you guys: if they both put up, if Curry and Jordan are averaging 60 a game on the low end, and their points per game is 113, what I'm trying to figure out is
who's doing the other half.
I mean, and if that's the case, are they going to have to put up more than that? Because there's a universe I can see them both. I could see both of them putting up 35. But it would be very difficult. And the only reason I think that is because of the pace. It's because they're the third. They're at 102. So it's even higher than we were just at. I think if Curry makes 6 threes a game because he's more open, has to be out there more often because Jordan's driving the lane, and gets those different kind of opportunities, I think he could still hit the 35 with Jordan also being at that 35. But I think it would be very difficult.
Oh, you should. I don't know. don't see that.
That's why I'm trying to figure out the math. Like, if they put up 70 points a game, if they put up 70 points a game combined, all
right. So this is my reason for not thinking Steph could do that. I think this was Steph's. I think it's Steph's greatest season ever.
Yeah.
Like if you would have gave Steph the same situation, this is I said it throughout the whole his whole year that this was him. This is 2016 Steph.
Yeah.
Without a good team, like this would be unanimous MVP Steph, and he had all reins to shoot whatever the hell he want, do whatever he want, and he only got to 32 points a game. Yeah. I think I don't see him with a guy who's taking just as much shots as him, averaging more points.
Okay.
Because Steph was less efficient, but he was look at how much less efficient he was compared to his 2016 season. It wasn't that much at all. So I don't think it changes that much. Like the issue normally would be how would Steph, like his Steph, they still don't have enough floor spacing, like technically, because Steph's really the only big main shooter on that. But I think because of Jordan's playmaking, being able to make the mid-range shot, drive to the basket, everything, I think that's what opens it up so much for Steph.
Right.
And that the main focal point on defenses is going to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I think Jordan's going to be able to score his points no matter what.
Yeah.
I think Steph just gets more easy looks at the basket.
Right.
But I just can't see him scoring 30. I can't see Jordan.
That's the only reason why I thought he was going to get there is because of exactly what you just said. I think they're both going to get easier looks because of each other. Because we know that they fucking stick Curry with someone at the half court. Like and it's the only, like if you watch film on the Warriors, Kenny Smith breaks this down all the time. Whenever the Warriors are on fucking TNT, Kenny Smith will go to his big board and he'll go, this is the only team in the NBA where there's a guy behind, like, feet in front of, like, past between the 3-point line and the fucking half-court line because of the fear of Steph Curry.
Well, yeah.
You do that with Jordan, you're fucked because you're going to need someone to come and help around the basket.
Yeah.
That's why him and Kevin Durant were, like, beautiful.
Slightly irrelevant, but just needed to say it because I know, like, 2 seconds ago, someone commented and said Damian Lillard as well. Just so, for you cock eaters. But because I'm just thinking, I'm like, I know it's
now Damian Lillard. Yeah, right now Damian Lillard.
Yeah, Damian Lillard. But I just think it's just hard. You can't have. Has there ever been two guys shooting 20 plus shots a game, scoring 30? Like Jordan, literally, Kobe and Shaq were the highest scoring duo of all time, and they scored almost 30 a game together. It was really like 28. So I just can't imagine.
Just hard, right? It's just hard to get that amount of volume to two guys.
Yeah, there's only one basketball, and I think it was easy for Steph to average 26, 27 with KD on the team because the way they scored. Yeah, it was so much less dribbling. Like Jordan was quick to his move and stuff.
Yeah, he's not doing a lot of that either.
Yeah, but he still isn't. Like, KD is as simple as he can get the ball and score immediately. Like, Jordan can't score as quick as KD can, in my opinion.
I think that's an argument. I'm not going to make it with you this second. I'll say this.
So, I'm talking about, like, actual physical seconds to score. I think Kevin Durant, any place from the court, he gets the ball.
Like, just in terms of taking a jump shot, things like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I mean, I would really argue KD is a better scorer than Michael Jordan, but that's a really big argument. But
different argument for a different day.
Yeah.
My thing, putting specifically with the Warriors, that we have yet to discuss, all their off-ball cutting and all the things Jordan's going to be able to do off the ball to get open, like besides shooting, that's where I think his efficiency is going to be like fucking hot sex.
and Draymond, because remember, Draymond's still can run point forward and shit. Yeah. So like having Curry and Draymond run those pick and rolls and all this other bullshit, and then having Jordan be the cutter to the basket it would be very interesting to see the Warriors.
Imagine all the lobs that because you remember in the Warriors heyday where they do all that ball movement and then it turned into a lob for a guy at the rim out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Jordan would be that guy. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. He'd come out of nowhere. He's all fast. He's black cat, mad quick.
And their defense would be pretty good too. Like for the most part, because it would allow Draymond to do more Draymond things.
And the communication between Draymond and MJ, if they want to just talk to each other, but God forbid they focus and shit talk one person on the other team and try to break their brain, they would make Trash Talking Hall of Fame as a dynamic duo of shit talk.
Oh, so would
Curry taking a dump on the court?
That's what I was gonna say. How many more dumps in a season would Curry take on courts with MJ as his teammate, just being like, "You've got to destroy these people mentally."
That'd be amazing.
Poop on them every night. Poop on them.
How far would they go in you guys' mind?
Ooh, now we're asking a winning question.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think they would be able to win more games because I think they'd be a lot better defensively with Jordan as opposed to any of the guys they have on Golden State or they had this past year.
Like, imagine Andrew Wiggins having to strictly be a key defender. I feel like it'll make the overall team better because you can utilize Wiggins less of all. Like, he was their second scorer. Like, he's not. Like,
that's the thing about Andrew Wiggins. I don't know what he does naturally. I know he's got an awesome spin dunk.
Yeah, but he averaged a steal and a block.
Yeah, but for a career, he's a career disappointment. Like, he's okay, but I would love to know, what does Andrew Wiggins do that I can put him in the best position to win? Like, it's great that he puts up 20. These are like great stats that mean nothing. Like, you look at this guy statistically and you're like, okay, 20 points a game. This guy's an asset. But every time you see him out there, you're like,
I feel like he could give them a solid 10 to 15 points a game.
Okay.
But he can, because of Draymond and Jordan being good defensively on the perimeter, he'd add on to that.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad at anything, but I don't know what he's great at.
Yeah, no, but I just feel like because he's good at so much little things, that's a perfect glue guy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? So once you add him to two great defenders, and then you like, it is just what makes it, like, it's like Ron Harper was a good defender.
Yeah,
like, he wasn't all time great, but once you put him in with Scottie, Jordan, Rodman, it became complete domination.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I definitely get what you're saying. I know. I guess when comparing Ron Harper to Wiggins, the only difference is, at least with Ron Harper, you knew he was doing that before he got to the Bulls. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't the greatest, but he was still fucking. Where Wiggins, it's like he's a wet fart wherever he's been. It's like, I have no bad things really to say about him, but I have no compliments.
Here's a compliment for Andrew Wiggins. If he was in like the 80s and 90s, he would be the perfect second option on a team with those stats through his career.
True. Just that 20 points.
It was just that. I guess just straight up stat. I don't think he'd be an option for.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know how like back then the par for like the second option was they didn't need to we're at the 20-point mark right around there.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you just said, Dario, that's why I have trouble seeing him as the perfect glue guy. I agree with you in theory, he should be, but I've just never, you know what I mean? It's hard to picture that.
Averaging 22 a game in the 90s was a superstar.
Yeah, that's fair. All-star, definitely.
Yeah.
But that's fair.
That's the, like, he probably, and if you really like put him back, I mean, we don't really do that for non-all-time greats, but if we did, he'd be like, to me, he's more of a what's this dude's name? Who's the third? Horace Grant kind of level player.
Sure.
That's just his level of play. He's like a third option on a team, and it's like I really do feel like the Warriors are gonna be decent this year, hopefully really good, because they have Clay back, and now now I feel like Wiggins is in his proper role.
I hope you're right, because I would like to say something other than he's a wet fart. I really would.
Yeah.
I would be better with that. But finally, let's get to the upper echelon here.
The police was the rebel.
I feel like he could score the most points here, but I don't know if this is the best fit. But I think he could.
You made Dario leave.
It's like I'll see myself out.
Podcast on your own.
It's like I'll see myself the fuck out.
Like, what type of bullshit you on, Russell? What type of bullshit you on? It's unnecessary. Like, we already got freaking 3 superstars. What the hell?
I just think he would. I think the goal of that would be, could he get to 30 in that on that insane team?
Russell, you're gonna hate me.
I don't think so. I think I know where you're gonna go. But all right.
I'm gonna say the Knicks.
Talk to me.
Well, because you have Julius Randle there, and then like you have a whole bunch of people who will like key in on defense. That was their whole identity this season, and I think he would be the scoring that they needed.
This is the exact same solution to what we were talking about with Miami, where they need a guy to get those buckets in critical situations and take pressure off of Randall. I sadly don't hate this. Not to mention
they have
amazing in the Garden.
The basket, though. I don't know how open their lane to the basket is.
I agree. I'm definitely not going to tell you you're wrong. They were making what was their threes?
So we're not making the Heat thing because we already kind of did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure because that would definitely be the team in this.
It's just because they were 6th, so I kept it in that middle tier. They were bottom of the league in shooting threes, so I agree. There's not a whole lot of shooting space there. They're playing at the exact pace of all of Jordan's Bulls teams. So that's not unfamiliar. Outside of the spacing, if we were taking a team and bringing it backwards and putting Jordan on it, this would be a really good team to put him on. Yeah. Where shooting doesn't matter as much. But I think, I really don't hate that because the defense, I know him and Tibbs would like make out every night.
Yeah.
They would love it. They would love it.
I like the Nuggets.
Okay.
So you get the, because Murray's out this year, right?
Yeah.
So they need that. You got Jordan, who's just going to dominate.
Yeah.
You got the open basket, the open lane to the basket, and you got Joker feeding him, and he's going to be the point center, which Jordan never had to really deal with.
I don't think Jordan's ever seen in his life, in his playing career. Yeah. I don't think he's ever seen anything like this motherfucker.
And I think it's wide open for him to score 35 points a game. I really do feel like Joker doesn't need to score the 26.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was the first time in his career he even did that, right?
I will check. I know he's been an over 20 point per game scorer for sure.
Yeah.
But he's at that 20.
This was his break.
Stubborn at that 20. Obviously, this being his MVP year.
Yeah. I could totally see Jordan. I feel like Joker's not the type of guy to say no to Michael Jordan. Because I think, look, Murray was like freaking a chuck. You'd argue. I mean, it worked out because they worked well together, but it kind of was that even in the playoffs, and like Joker was all for it. So I feel like MJ could do that, and then he adds the defensive physicality that this team would need. Like, because I know I've argued throughout this whole legacy hypotheticals that Jordan wasn't as physical of a defender as like a Scotty, but I think
on a team where there's no defenders.
Yeah, he's like
there's no defenders. There's gotta be somebody.
Like Dennis Rodman compared to all these guys, like 80's Rodman too. Like when he knocked you down. But so I feel like he could definitely. Obviously, they were the second seed, right?
Third seed. Yeah.
Third seed. Yeah, I think he can bring them to first.
Yeah,
for sure. With the defensive mentality and his dominance on defense, and even if Murray was there,
do you think Jokic and Jordan will be able to handle each other mentally? Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
I think he would love what Jokic is bringing offensively. Obviously,
yeah.
Would that be enough? Because it's something Jordan had never seen, and maybe he'd be over the top happy with the offense. Would it be enough to get over the fact that he's Luke Longley on defense or worse? Like, because I go back and I think about that interview that Jordan did this year on Luke Longley, where he was like, he was talking about how Luke Longley scored. He had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the first quarter. And at the end of the game, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And Jordan looked at him and said, "That's the last time I ever fucking compliment you again."
Yeah, but the whole thing is like Joker is like so much more I feel like because he'd be doing his job so much on the offensive end.
Right, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't like attack him as much. You know what I mean?
I know in practice he would, though. For sure. Yeah. Coming at him. Every fucking practice. I do like this from a roster fit, though.
Yeah. But I feel like in terms of the Knicks mentality-wise, Jordan would definitely fit there better.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the Clippers?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's talk.
Lynn? What do you think, Lynn? I'll let you go. I'll let you take this one.
Just like Michael Jordan would make Paul George stare at a wall after playing him on the opposite team, I feel like Paul George mentally would not be able to handle having Michael Jordan on his team.
Yeah, I can't tell you you're wrong. I can't truly tell you you're wrong. Also, are we going to push Paul George to power forward? Or are we going to... Because somebody's got to play power forward out of the 3 if we put Jordan here.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's Jordan plays PG. We know it's possible.
It is. It's technically possible.
In the 88 season, that's when he did the triple-double thing.
That's my favorite Jordan year.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Definitely. I was just saying it to say it. I think it would be horrible.
If we're gonna say Jordan, if we're gonna say Jordan at the point guard, I do not think it would be horrible.
I think this is out of all 8 top teams, I think this is probably the worst fit. Mainly because
over Brooklyn, that you just walked off set for.
Well, to me, that's just not fair. Like, I'm like, at this point, like, why would that's just horrible. Like, I don't care. It doesn't even matter at that point. Like, imagine the starting 5 of Kyrie Irving, Michael Jordan, freaking.
I think Jordan would play small forward. Harden would play the 2. Yeah. Durant would play the 4, and then you'd have fucking, I don't know, DeAndre Jordan or who cares at that point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fucking me or you could play fucking center. It would be fine.
We can just spectate.
Yeah. You and I could be on the court in a jersey, but just holding a camera, taking pictures.
Yeah.
It would be fine. They would still win at least 50 games.
And not even run with them. Yeah. So, no. I'm not. To me, that's just, it's not that it's not fair. It's just, I mean, it's not that it's not like, I just think it's not fair. I feel like that's an easy championship. I'm not trying to do that. I feel like the Clippers would be horrible because I really do feel like Jordan's mindset, and I know people would probably like wonder, like, all right, why does his mindset matter so much? Like, how is that going to change completely everything? I don't know if you guys watched, but if you watched even the freaking Last Dance, Jordan's mindset changed the entire organization.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen to wherever he goes. So it's probably best to have his mindset already, so that if you have superstars around you.
I think I'd rather have him on the Clippers than Philly because he would ruin Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons got ruined by his own brain.
So if Jordan there, he's going to Kwame Brown him.
I disagree. I think he would make. So think about it. When Jimmy Butler played on Philadelphia, I think that was the best Philly team in the last 5 years.
Okay.
Right?
Case could totally be made.
Huh?
I said case could totally be made.
Like literally, they arguably could have went to the finals that year, right? They just were one lucky ass basket away. So if you have Michael Jordan on that team, very similar mindset, except one thing we know about Jimmy that year was whenever they were at meetings and he said it on the JJ Redick podcast.
Yep.
He was like, situations where they'd have issues and no one wanted to talk. Yeah. Michael Jordan's going to make you talk. He's not. Yeah. He doesn't have that. He's not going to have that mindset going in like, oh, I can't start. No, he's going to be like, no, we got to change this shit because I want to win a championship. Yeah. And I feel like that would make the team better. And Jimmy said, I feel like if we would have talked, it would have been better off for the team. But he just didn't want to be that guy to have to. And the only time he did, the organization kind of fell back on him.
Yeah, said fuck you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I was about to say in my head, I was like, didn't he speak up at some point? And
yeah. So
there's just no spacing. It's kind of the same kind of deal that you had a problem with the Knicks.
No, didn't they add
kind of shoot? But
didn't they add shooters this year, like Steph Curry and shit?
For Philly, they have Curry, but like it's the same thing that you were talking about with better Curry. There's still not that many. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for 3-pointers, they're still bottom. They're under, bottom 20. Like it's not. There's not enough spacing to justify, unless they're gonna. That's what I'm saying. Without Simmons here, I think this would be perfect. With Simmons here, I think you can't have 2 non-shooters on the floor in 2021. Can't do it.
Like non-3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just very, very, very difficult in this era to pull that off. Unless you're their defense will be really good, but I'm just not.
I feel like they could get away with it, especially playoff time. I think how good was Philly defensively against the 3?
In the playoffs or in general?
Go in general, and then we could go to the playoffs.
So they were the best at defending the 3 in terms of threes made per game.
Yeah. So
and percentage.
Yeah. So now who is the best at making threes during the playoffs? I'm just curious.
For them?
No, in general. Go back.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I want to see where Atlanta ranked in making the threes.
Yeah, good question.
Because I feel like they'd be a good 3-point shooting team.
I feel like that's how they had to get it done.
All right, so they were about middle of the pack. They still made 12 threes a game, right? Even though Atlanta beat them, imagine having Michael Jordan as one of your defenders instead of...
Well, that's it. Trae Young wouldn't have been able to do...
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to...
would have just had another body like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this team, though you don't have the 3-point shot, they're limiting the 3-point shooting on the other side. Yeah. So now you add a prolific scorer plus a all-time great big man. Yeah. You got Shaq and Kobe 2.0.
I know. That's where my head was at.
And then you got arguably could be one of the great wing defender. Probably could be his Scotty in a sense. Yeah. And Scotty didn't have to shoot. How is he that much different than Scottie Pippen?
Scotty
to run the floor.
It's the same thing that everybody says about Ben Simmons. It's not that he doesn't shoot. It's that he's afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
Which is concerning.
But it doesn't matter at this point because they don't need him to shoot. They're not going to need Simmons to shoot the shots that they...
He's going to be the Draymond, though, and control the ball. He can't be Saul. It's just it's one of those things where, I could see Jordan being like, hey, asshole, I need the ball in the wing.
Yeah.
How do you fuck this up? Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about shooting. Don't worry about... Just play your fucking man and get me the goddamn ball in the wing. And you don't have to worry about anything. You stupid bitch. I don't think it'll work out. I don't think Simmons will be able to do that. I worry about Simmons' mental makeup.
I think Ben Simmons... Because, all right, so I don't know. the one thing Jordan did, he would shit on his teammates, but he would never really give up on them.
If Ben Simmons passed up the dunk, Jordan would not let him eat for a week. A whole week of no.
I know, but he wouldn't do that.
Family.
He wouldn't do that because the whole thing. What I'm saying is Ben Simmons wasn't clear on his role. The craziest part, and not to freaking break down Philly because I don't want to break down Philly, but it was crazy because Doc Rivers' whole point was we got to make people know their roles going into the season. Yeah. That was his main thing, and Ben Simmons by the end of the season did not know his role. And fuck you, Doc.
And all right, he would know for sure if MJ was there.
Huh?
Well, he would know for sure if MJ was there. All right, so it's between Philly and it's between the Nuggets. Lindsay, you're picking. Choose.
Wait. I thought Knicks. Knicks were
the Knicks too.
Yeah.
So pick one.
Not Philly.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
So Knicks or Nuggets? Jokic. Oh, I guess Nuggets.
All right.
Yeah.
Really? I thought you were gonna go with Knicks because I think the Knicks too.
No, I think the Knicks is a good option, but like it'd be cool to see MJ with a point center like Jokic.
Because it's never happened.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be pretty cool. But I feel like the Knicks are the best fit for him.
The mentality, I feel like, is the best fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we switching then? Because I don't mind. I genuinely have a case for no matter what we do. I'm comfortable with either team here. So if you guys want to do the Knicks, I'm cool with the Knicks.
Are we actually like gonna break down how far they go?
It's about points. It's never about that.
Oh, okay. That was just the only the word. Yeah, let's go next.
All right.
Okay.
So obviously, slowest pace of any team we've looked at so far.
They're 95, right?
Yes.
Yep. Same thing as what he played.
Just like Jordan, dead last, right? Jordan could easily get 35 with this team. Even though there's no spacing, it just fits to what, like I could see Julius Randle taking keep getting 10 rebounds, keep getting 6 assists, but gets 20 points.
Yep.
And I think Jordan takes those 4 points, adds it to his fucking total to get about that. I liked that 38 a game that we were talking about with the Thunder. Because even though this team is not as destitute for, everything, they do need a guy that they can go to in the half court for buckets. And I think Randall can stretch the floor a little bit, right? He was making 2 threes a game, shooting 41% this year. RJ Barrett could shoot it. He was shooting 40%. Even Derrick Rose got above 40%. Mm-hmm. A lot of these guys are efficient three-point shooters. And I think they could put a small ball lineup with Randall at the 5 and Barrett at the 4, Jordan at the 3, stretch it out like that, and have Jordan drive and kick and just shit on anybody that decides to match them with small ball. You know what I mean? I could totally the 35 to 38, let's say.
Yeah. I'm cool with the I feel the same about the same. I feel like it would be very similar to his 88 season.
Okay.
So like with the 35, pretty much similar things. Probably not the 8 assists and 8 rebounds. No, yes. So the 35, 6 and 6. I think that's exactly what he does. And then literally that same stat line.
He's got a chance for the 3 steals. I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, because
his defense mentality.
Yeah, the Knicks, and I feel like he can shoot above 50% from the field. I feel like it works out better for him because he's allowed to be more efficient. He has a second guy.
Yeah,
and they can be the main scorer. And
pick and roll with Jordan and Randall probably lethal.
Yeah, and Randall has that mentality, to where, and he played with Kobe, so like that is where that kind of comes from too. Like he talks about, No, seriously. I've heard him talk on podcasts. He was on the Joe Budden podcast, and he talked about how playing with Kobe changed his mindset and like how he looked at things and how much it frustrated him for them to be on a bad Knicks team for so long. So for however long he was on it. So I think it worked perfect.
And Thibodeau makes sure his guys are prepared every game. That was another thing. Speaking of Randall in interviews, I heard him say on Reddick's podcast that the difference between the Pelicans leaving the Pelicans and coming to New York under Tibbs is every time he gets to the building, there's a fucking scouting report on the opposite team, no matter what they do well, what they don't.
Yeah.
There was obviously some of that in Jordan's era, but not to the level we fucking have it now. Just impossible. There's
definitely
so much more technology we have.
Yeah.
I think that all helps Jordan immensely. It goes back to the bad backstory from when he was a Wizard. Don't ever tell me you got an injury. That's twice as easy to find out now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Little things like that.
And then it's crazy how it's because of the mindset of the Knicks. Like it's a grind to play for the Knicks. Like they talk about that. That's why a lot of young players didn't like playing for Thibodeau because of his he's gonna play you every game kind of mentality. And this is like, look, Julius Randle. I think this was the first year in his career where he played every single game, and that was a normality in Jordan's career. So
I was gonna say the mentality of the nose to the grindstone just makes Jordan's PP rock hard.
Yeah,
what he loves in life. But yeah, I could see Julius getting down to this 19 a game where he was at that first year with the Knicks, 19 and 10. But I want him to keep that 6 assists because he was nasty as a passer.
Yeah,
this past season, and 37 minutes a game, leading the league in minutes. Jordan would obviously be doing that with Tibbs because Tibbs shows no mercy. As we were saying with Jimmy Butler, he'll age over time because of all the minutes he'll play. He'll age aggressively.
Jordan would definitely like to play all those minutes too. So
facts. I think it's just a match made in heaven. So, Lindsay, what do you think for points for Jordan for this era or for this team?
I could see him getting like 35.
Okay. Just like straight 35 or more or less, or?
I mean, if he got more, I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like 35 is like a good baseline for him.
I like how you said it. If he got more, I wouldn't be surprised. Like if he can, like when it happens, like I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
When he just completely dominates the league. Because this is the other thing. When someone's averaging 35 a game, they're on SportsCenter every night. Every night they're on SportsCenter. They're fucking the pressure builds after each game of just dominating. Like
and especially being on the Knicks.
In the Garden, Jordan's favorite place to play.
Yeah.
That would be some shit.
Well, I'm just saying, like the Knicks are just like that cornerstone franchise for whatever reason, and like they haven't.
They're still the most expensive basketball team.
Yeah,
and they might be the most expensive franchise in sports still, even though they've had 20 years of tenure. It's one of them. It'll be on your screen.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I always thought it was not the Knicks, and then I found out it was, and it broke my brain.
I can't wait until Future Russell pulls that up because I can't imagine the Knicks over the Yankees.
I couldn't either. To be fair, I couldn't either. And I could be wrong right now just talking about it. But I don't think so. Last question I'm going to pose to you guys. Are the old heads right? Based on this exercise we've done.
No.
Crazy, right? Because even though we put Jordan above everybody else from a scoring standpoint, and even though we do think he would be able to average what he did in the 80s, that's what he's getting to, is where he was at in the 80s. Yeah. I think that's a fair statement to make.
And let me just add, the only person to ever average over 40 points a game was our man Will Chamberlain. And we know it was because he was going against little white kids. So I
can't wait. I can't wait to make this T-shirt. Oh, man. It's going to be Will dunking and standing and just be little white, little dots on the page. So it's going to be. It's gonna be. It's gonna sell like hotcakes. That shirt.
Yeah.
Also, Will Chamberlain's averaging 50 points a game and banging 50 women a night is untouched.
Top five.
Untouched by any human. But
Magic was close, but
that's fair.
Another story.
That's fair. But he got 12 assists. He went a different route. He's got 12 assists, 50 women a night.
Yeah. Like, to get those assists, and he was wild. Because assists mean you giving some of them away, too. Like, that's crazy.
Means he could have gotten 100.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's fair to say that if Michael Jordan from the 80s played in today's era, he would definitely score over 35 a game. And I think it's preposterous when the old people say that he's going to average 50.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair way to wrap this up, my opinion.